one being representing a man for Uptown TV. You understand?
In these sessions. So things are not as hidden as we would want to think or to fool ourselves into thinking. So please attend, if you can, the session, the World Economic Forum next annual general session, which will be January 20 to 24. Choose which sessions to attend and then go back and look up some of those and check on those. All right. What I want from you now is to, even while we talk about the UN Summit of the Future, and to underscore that we're sure that they're accelerating the completion of Agenda 2030. These 17 sustainable goals, the 2030 objectives, really amount to, at the end of the day, you will own nothing and you will be happy. This is what when asked, I think it's still on their page. I haven't seen it in a while, but the World Economic Forum had it up for a long time. Lots of us saw it. I'm sure many of you who listened to this program went to the page and you saw it yourselves. That Vision 2030, Agenda 2030, when asked what it meant in a nutshell, basically, that was it. You will own nothing and you will be happy. But they will own everything, because this is the way technocracy works. One of the main points in the Pact for the Future, which they left for the last on the list, you'll see it, is transforming global governance. And so we have to ask our government on both sides what this looks like, because they were there, they've signed off on this, they've all signed off on this. This is signed and done, it's a done deal. It's not something that they're waiting for people to sign off on. They've already signed off on it. And one of the things is transforming global governance. So we need to ask them, how is this going to work? What does it look like for us? Because this is not a vision for the masses of the Jamaican people. This 2030 thing is not a vision, it's a nightmare. So when we were called commodity by the tourism minister, it was a slip of the tongue maybe, but they're used to it, because this is basically what the global labor force will be seen as. And we have to understand globalization. We're properly globalized, where multinational corporations, in a nutshell, they call it public-private partnership. But multinational corporations come into our country, own everything, and all that we know changes, and we become labor for them. So we scrape and hustle and scam to get by. This is what globalization looks like. It's an exact definition of globalization, if you will. It's all about providing cheap labor for the wealthy, for corporations, wealthy corporations. So the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, which is really the Ministry of Love in 1984 by George Orwell. Listen, let me read something from. Because I have my 1984. As a matter of fact, I have the hardcover one, the hardcover one with me yellow silver, book page marker and so on. Easy with this George Orwell situation, I'm very serious about it. So, listen to what is said about the Ministry of Love. Chapter 1, page 7. The Ministry of Love was the really frightening one. That's a really frightening ministry. There were no windows in it at all. It was a place impossible to enter except on official business. And then only by penetrating through a maze of barbed wire entanglements, steel doors, and hidden machine gun nests. Even the streets leading up to its outer barriers were roamed by gorilla-faced guards in black uniforms, armed with jointed truncheons. Now, that might sound out of the way because of the time this book was written, but take my word for it. This is what we're facing. The Integrity Commission came up on the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation and couldn't even name the ministry. They were picking people out of it one by one to say, this is a conflict of interest. The Prime Minister is overseeing, is it 17 or 16 different ministries in the one space? The private sector is in that space. The corporations are in that space. The World Economic Forum in that space. The United Nations in another space there. Everything to enslave us. NEPA, UDC, housing, this, everything to enslave us, centered in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, which is the Ministry of Love. It is, because listen, when you call the name of that ministry without knowing anything, what do you get from it? Economic growth is positive. Job creation is positive. But it is overseeing the enslavement of the masses of the Jamaican people. It is overseeing the denial of access to the coastline to the Jamaica people. It is overseeing the theft, the thievery of beaches from the Jamaican people. It is overseeing the oppression of the Jamaican people. Some of the issues that I want you to look at, not just any ordinary old call, let us look at the year past, but just to look ahead to say, what are the major issues you think as a people we're going to be faced with going into 2025, but especially toward 2020, because what we have here at 2025 and what we're witnessing, what we're seeing, what we're hearing, especially through the Pact for the Future, the Global Digital Compact, and the Declaration of Future Generations, which all governments have signed off on, that we're seeing where the implementation of everything is happening everywhere, all at once. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So at 7:30, I'll be taking your telephone call. It's 10 minutes after 7. We're talking about the concept of the new year, and talking about Babylon, but it still does provide us with a platform of space-time awareness, and that affords us as Africans the opportunity and the choice to pivot. And we see that the world has already pivoted, that there's a global pivot to technocracy. Andrew Holness has pivoted. And remember the press conference he held? Go back, we discussed it a few weeks ago. He used the word pivot. They're pivoting to all kinds of stuff. But basically, the entire world is pivoting. And if you look at every single government, you'll hear them saying the same thing. Just look around you. So the pivot is happening. And we, too, have to pivot from IFSET. From IFSET. From IFSET, which is disorder and wrongdoings, which is really the opposite of Ma'at, of Wanzungu. Wanzungu. And our sister, Mama Marimba, says Yurugu. It's the same thing. Wanzungu or Yurugu. To pivot to Ma'at and the principles of Ma'at. The nature of order, of truth, of justice, of righteousness, and harmonious balance in the cosmos. Understanding our role and our place as we go through, because there are going to be some truth speakers. There are going to be some truth seekers. There are going to be some truth In a time of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. And we're faced with universal deceit. Remember, one of the things we said a few weeks ago is that because they're talking about disinformation and misinformation. Even Elon Musk, who captured Twitter with the promise of free speech, just a few days ago, he announced that he will be curtailing or cutting out negativity from X, which means he lied, to put it simply, because what is negativity? Who's going to define negativity? In England, they're locking up people for a tweet, a text, or to protest on a side that they do not like. In Jamaica, you can't say anything about the Prime Minister. They'll find you under your bed. I saw a content creator literally walking away from dealing with certain issues regarding Jamaica's politics and governance because he said something quite innocuous and was threatened. People are being killed. So speaking truth is a revolutionary act. But what is truth? And whose truth? Because we are just as we're entering the post-human phase, we entered the post-truth phase a long time ago. So what is your truth? So we can use our platforms to do what we do. One of the things that as African people we should be concentrating on is our spirituality, because we can't leave that out of anything considering all that we're faced with. Give libations of thanks and praise to our sacred African ancestors, calling our Supreme Spirit for Meduneta, divine wisdom and protection. So, having crossed the conceptual space-time threshold into this new year, we Africans find ourselves at a pivotal and a critical moment. We're looking back as usual to go forward. Sankofa-ing, looking ahead. We have to ask ourselves some real serious questions going into 2025. And we have to answer them, because right now we're getting to a place where the protection of our person, read the Pact for the Future, the Global Digital Compact, and the Declaration of Future Generations. Do you know, when the Prime Minister came out a few years ago and they started talking about digital IDs and NIDs and all of that, this is a global requirement, you know. It's a requirement it's on the 2030 agenda. Nobody no read it, so no say it's a requirement. It's a requirement for Vision 2030. It is in the Pact for the Future. The global transformation, it is there. Because the transhumanism and the technocracy and where we're heading cannot happen without the digital ID. So it's just a process. All of it is a process. And you can't talk about the mark of the beast until you're dead. The process is already underway. The government of Jamaica has signed off on it. The opposition know about it, and the governing party knows about it. They know what time of day it is. They know what they have signed on to. They know the meetings they have gone to. They know what they have done. It is for us to ask them, what have you done? What have you done? Because they have made a decision that they can't stand alone. No man is an island, and yet we're an island. And remember, the United Nations is a place like this. Once you're in it, you can't come out of it, you know. I have to take a break. But you Google for me, how do I, or AI it? As a country, if you're in the United Nations, how do you get out of the United Nations? You can't come out of it. They must kick you out. And So the United Nations sees itself as a global government. And this is why we have to look closely at the United Nations. And the World Economic Forum has set up itself as core government. And this is interesting because the World Economic Forum, none of these people are elected. This is just Klaus Schwab and his friend them, the Bohemian Grove people, who, BlackRock and all of them, are now ruling the world. And just look how them lay out them thing. It's well laid out. 13 centers, I think, in the World Economic Forum. All 13 of them cover the whole away. But as you read through, and as you begin to look at how this thing is set up, every single thing leads to a slave class, an enslaved class. Whether you go transhumanism, whether you go robot, it don't matter how you go, whether you go AI, digital technology, an enslaved class is necessary for it to work. And who do you think that is? Are we now as a people? Are we where we wanted or planned to be? What are or were our goals? How many of those goals have we achieved? Who dictated our past? Who will determine our future? Our children's future? Our children's children's future? The United Nations has a pact for the future. The Declaration of Future Generations. They have taken into account your children, your children's children, and your children's children's children. Do we as a people, as a group, have a unity and the power of self-determination? Well, the second decade for people of African descent began on January 1, 2025, which will run on until 2034. How many of us as Africans even knew of the first international decade? Who declared it? Who gave them the power to do so? And what, if anything, did we gain from it? United Nations is a global government. Let me take a break to take your telephone calls. 618, remember now 876 before this, so 876-618-0352, 876-974-5051, 5043 and 5079. Want to look at your own ideas, your own thinking of where we are as a people, but also looking to the future. And tell me the stories that impacted you, or you think are of great significance in the year before, and going forward, what are some of the main issues that we'll be dealing with as people of African descent and as Jamaicans, and how do we do so? So that's the kind of conversation that I want to have this morning. Phone lines just 6 minutes ahead of time, and to take, I know I said 7:30, to take your calls. It is imperative, I think, that we have this conversation and then to move forward for the rest of the year. Also want to say thanks to you, and I'll do that properly by calling names, yes, later on in the program. But once again, the phone lines are now open, and we will be taking your calls. What were the big stories of 2024? What are the main issues that you think we'll be faced with as a people going forward into 2025, 2030, and beyond? Hotep, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, greetings. How are you doing?
Greetings, Kabu-Ma'At.
Yes, give thanks.
Yeah. Me I go on the program still.
Mm-hmm.
But just one now. When I came in call you in about now 2014,
yeah.
I mean, I tell about Patwa alphabet.
Yes.
Me never went get to really finish telling and it cut off still, I mean, couldn't reach back. But everything line up now, I mean, like, it can make a link with it for me to see what I want.
Or you have written the book?
It's not a book, it's a painting. Like ABCD for the fatwa.
Oh, okay. So there are two different courses. Yeah. Hmm?
May I also have a numeral of a creator.
Okay.
Yes, like.
All right. It's going to be difficult to make that connection with me here at Irie, but if one thing we can do is to arrange for you to speak with Shamara Francis, and then she'll take it from there, and we'll see how we best can link up.
So, we can do that?
Give Shamara a call next week.
All right. And me have a lady who can line up because maybe could have get to you easy to, Mr. All in front of where they have the Rasta village.
Mm-hmm.
The problem could have come through she still because she kind of part of the link.
Right, so the best person to come through is Shamara Preston.
All right.
Because he can help to arrange it. Then.
All right.
All right.
We have a portion of thing, we have a portion of some staff, yeah.
Right.
We have a portion of thing.
All right, I'm looking forward to seeing them and having a conversation with you. So,
all right, thank you very much.
All right, give thanks.
All right,
go back to the phone lines. Greetings.
Morning.
Yes, Hotep, how you doing?
I'm good.
Yes.
I'm good. I listened to your conversation you said this morning.
Yes.
2 weeks now, I'm in a area, because me a motor say, you have some apps where you download where it does not give you IRFM. I don't know why that one I cut him back this morning, but I'm glad for it. My phone alone, I listen to you, because I live a very simple life,
Yes. Where are you?
I'm in Spanish Town, Signam.
Yeah, it's interesting because I get that from a lot of people that they're not hearing us on the apps, and we have made just so everyone knows, once you say you're not hearing us, we make the report. Right, but I'm glad you're back on.
Yeah, I'm glad too. Yeah, Kabu.
Yeah.
All right. Me read about this man. I'm gonna give my view,
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
All right. This man Haile Selassie the first. Right? When I study his history, from him born and the role when playing a life with the League of Nations and the United Nations, and the many speeches and examples when said for both Ethiopia, Africa, and the world. You see, as to me, we are living in the time of the seventh seal. His Majesty is Christ who come on earth again and reign, King of Kings, Lord of Lords. I tell you about back when him born, when him attack Ethiopia, after destroy the king, and when him reign again as king on him throne, and the same Vatican, Rome attack, and all of them are working.
So you're saying this is the time we're going through, and I'm glad you mentioned the League of Nations, because there's a saying, and I'm not quite sure if it's in a song, if the world had listened to this little man, then we probably wouldn't have been, where we are. World War II probably wouldn't have happened.
World War II.
And the League of Nations killed itself. The United Nations, actually, is what replaced the League of Nations, because, and the League of Nations killed itself because of what it did to the emperor. So I'm glad you mentioned that. It's important to situate things like that. This is no conspiracy theory. This is documented. But I also hear you going beyond that. You're saying that we're in a time of
seven seal,
spiritual warfare, if not. All right, and you say it's a seven seals.
And the United Nations kill itself too. And them kill themselves too, because them do the same thing. Because mother to warn them, Can say, I am the only head of state that both address the League of Nations and the United Nations. And we have even on YouTube is warning when they might tell you, say, until the philosophy that all one race superior and another inferior. So, you see, them people are not change. That's why I tell you the last time I call you and talk to you, them not going to change. We have to help ourselves.
And this is why the theme, and we have a theme every year, right? Last year it was to be or not to be African. We said it was a choice. It's a choice that you had to make.
Yeah.
And this year we're saying we are on our own. We are on our own. So you are correct. This is a realization. We've been on this path for a good while, but now we have to face the truth, which is that we are the ones we're waiting for. Nobody's going to come help us, and we're about to be re-enslaved. And so understanding that we are on our own will help us to make the correct decisions, because nobody's making any decision for us in our best interest. The government of Jamaica has already sold off the people of Jamaica to the globalist, to globalism. They have sold us as slaves. That has happened already. If we want to buy into that reality, then we will remain slaves forever. But if we defend ourselves from that reality, from what they're calling us commodity, they say we are a service industry, so we're servile. We must serve the BPO, or we must serve tourism, or we must serve the man. And now all of us become prostitutes around here. But we are not buying into that. We are not buying into that. We are on our own. We understand that, and we also agree with you, my brother, that we're in the middle. We have to think spiritually, because we're spiritual people. We are not just human, we are also spiritual. This is
the prophecy show us what is going to happen.
Right.
So we who know the prophecy supposed to can plan for what is going to happen.
That's the point.
History shows what evil is like.
Yes.
So if you're looking at history,
yes,
we supposed to can plan our future.
Hello?
What's up?
Yes, greetings. How are you doing?
Peace be unto you.
And to you too, my brother.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to talk about this whole heap of ministry merged together under the Prime Minister.
Yes.
I remember some years ago, I don't remember exactly the person who did the report, but somebody from UE. I think it is during a PJ time where too much waste, too much ministry, and they must merge everything together, and that certain ministries did need to merge together and come together in the Prime Minister office.
Who said that?
I don't remember who did do this.
Nobody said that. I know there have always been discussions about how whether or not we need so many ministries. But the idea wasn't to merge ministries, but to let ministries do their work. We have a Ministry of Constitutional Reform, and we have our Constitutional Affairs, and we have a Ministry of Justice. That makes sense to you?
No.
Exactly.
No, is that what waste?
Yes, it's waste. And now the Prime Minister has said, in the vein of the U.S. of what Donald Trump is doing with Doge and Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, that he has EPOC. Now, we don't see the EPOC committee yet, or commission or whatever that they're going to be. So these are more people now that he's going to be hiring to pay from taxpayers' money to tell him to cut out the foolishness. And they probably won't even do that. You know, so it's just another waste. And they're talking about bureaucracy. He says part of this is to get rid of bureaucracy in the system. The globalism is dictating that you get rid of bureaucracy, not get rid of bureaucracy for the people, but for the private sector and the public-private partnership, the multinational corporations that will come in to enslave people. Basically, that's what it is. Anyway, go ahead, my brother. You there? All right, I think I lost him. But basically, this is our situation. So we're not going to fool ourselves. The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, I said it from day one, and I think I've said it every single day that I work on air at IRFM, that this is the greatest scam on the people of Jamaica is the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. I'm sorry to keep you holding. The phone lines are open. I understand persons are dropping off. So as you come in, I'll take your calls, 974-5079, 5051, 5043, and 618-0352. Anyway, let me try this one. Hotel?
Hi, good morning.
Hi, greetings.
Hi,
Yes.
Yes, I want to commend you on the work that you are doing.
Thank you.
I know I used to call into Jerry Smalls, and he was like-minded, similarly to you.
Yeah, we are like-minded.
Other than you within the space, I don't see anyone who is sharing these information. In fact, most of what you are saying, I share these sentiments, and I know most Jamaicans don't care about it, and they don't see some of them as important because even the 2030 vision, which we know will enslave the entire world.
Yeah.
It's not just Jamaica, Kabu.
Right.
So when you're trying to look for example across the globe, there's no example across the globe because most of the nations are already enslaved. We are about, because we're a third world country, we are about to be enslaved 2030.
Yes.
So we have
the process is already underway, and it started from the minute they articulated this vision. It's something that they put in through the neoliberal project, and they kind of segued from the neoliberal project, which is capitalism 2.0, into this kind of a situation where it's now leading into technocracy, is a whole different thing, which means it is now being accelerated to something totally different. And they're using the technology. This is why it is totally different, because the technology is now available to enslave.
No, but it wasn't just, I think that just came about,
No.
These things are planned from century ago, and you have similar, like how you mentioned, and you know that they are acting out the Bibles. They have a script, just like how Donald Trump, they have their script.
Mm-hmm.
They have their script and their portfolio. Remember, you have the time of the exploration. When they were exploring Kabu, it was not England and Spain or the Liberian Peninsula said they're going to go and explore.
Mm-hmm.
It was a manifesto of exploration. It was a time of exploration.
Yes, and the history, and they've lied to us, and this is one of the reasons I say, even though we say history is our alibi, it's really how our story is our alibi. We understand a lot of lies were told to us in terms of even the explorations, why they did it, how they did it, and you talk about the Bible. That I mean, wow, we can't talk about the amount of lies that were told to us in King James. Let me ask you a question, because this is also very interesting. Every time I think about King James, I am just flabbergasted at the way intelligent people all across the world every Sunday morning get up and say you're reading from the King James Version without understanding that King James was an actual living, breathing man who was a bisexual, who was, and I use bisexual because the church is totally against it, and also who was a murderer because he joined up with Elizabeth I and beheaded his mother, Mary Queen of Scots, who was in the Tower of London. But there's so much more to know about him. He's also the author of Demonology. There's a book called Demonology or something of the sort, or him someone write it. But we celebrate this man, King James, every single Sunday and other days in every single church across the world. Well, Western world at least.
But the thing, Kabu, the church is not against homosexuality. Who is the head of the church, Kabu?
Well,
who is the head of the church?
Which church? Because
no, there's just one church. Who is the head of the church?
Well, there's a breakaway. There have been breakaways.
No, don't be fooled.
Listen, man, me come out of the church. So I tell you, there's a breakaway. So you have the charismatic evangelical.
No, the thing is Christendom.
Hang on. I know you're going to go Christendom, but you have the evangelicals who have rejected Constantine and Constantinople and everything that Constantine did. So they don't buy into the Holy Roman Empire, which is the orthodoxy the church that was split from the Eastern Orthodox Church. So there's a whole slew of people, which is what Donald Trump won on. That's why Donald Trump was able to win with the evangelicals, because somehow he ran against the homosexuality and this whole trans idea, and they call it wokeism. Remember, that's how he won. But over on the other side now, which we have the Holy Roman Empire and the Anglican Church, they're not against that, no.
So the question I'm saying, are the Anglicans, or the breakaway that you speak of, are they a part of the World Council of Churches?
Yes.
As long as they are part of the World Council of Churches.
No, not the Anglicans, you said, you're not talking about the evangelicals.
No, the Angelicals, they are part of the World Council of Churches. And the World Council of Churches is headed by the Pope. So
one thing I know, because my father was a Pentecostal minister, and one thing I know that up to the time in dead, there was that church was never a part of the World Council of Churches. They look
wonderful.
They speak against that, and there are a lot of evangelical churches that do not buy into that whole thing, my brother.
These are the small churches, Kabu, that don't even Christendom not even recognized yet.
Remember, we're not talking about whether them big or them small. You know, I was just saying to you that there's some who are not headed by the Holy Roman Empire.
I agree with you, but I'm telling you that majority of them, whether they want to admit it or not, they are part of the World Council of Churches, which is headed by the Pope.
Yes.
That's just the point I want to get out. In 2024, 2025, where he now, majority of the females in Jamaica, they don't business about homosexuality. They already accept that long time ago. So there's just few females you have who is...
So the point I was making, though, is that King James, whose name is mentioned, because you know when you go to in the evangelical church that I grew up in, you know, you always, even when my father preached, you know, you always mention the King James version. We use the King James version, and so the point I was making is that King James is referenced so often in the, maybe my bad, I should have said the evangelical churches, but I know that the King James Version is used in many of the churches, Western churches at least. But I'm saying that so there's a hypocrisy there where, and a lie. We were talking about the lies that we have been told. And one of the lies we have been told has to do with the role of King James in whether or not he translated the Bible, how it was translated, what he allowed in, what him tell them to take out, and how it was rewritten.
I understand.
So this is what I was referencing.
Yeah, I understand perfectly what you are saying in regards to the lie. But to truth be told, persons of old, like your father days and beyond, they weren't privy to the history, and then the modern days one, they do not care about the history. So these things, so the lies, they held on to the lie, just like Jesus born December the 25th, and they don't care whether it's a lie, yes or no. They just see it as tradition, and they want to continue with tradition.
And this is why Constantinople is that's why history is important, you know, to study, because you're talking even about Christmas, and Constantine was a person who they said the Roman emperor who embraced Christianity, but what he did was to embrace the Roman way of worship, which was at the time they were worshipping Mithras. Mithras was born on December 25. Mithras, they call Mithras a pagan god, you know. They say this is, and when they say pagan, they mean something bad. So this is what the Romans were worshipping. And they're worshipping Mithras. Mithras born December 25, was crucified, died on the cross, was born of a virgin, and every single thing that has been, every single characteristic and otherwise that Mithras embodied and that the Romans celebrated in Mithras, Constantine gave that to Jesus. And this is where every time I come to this space, I say Christians must study every single council of Nicaea or Nicaea, depending on how you pronounce it. You must study that. It's important to read. It's history. And it is recent history. It's not ancient history. When Constantine embraced Christianity.
Yes, but he did it for a purpose. I think I'm driving. I don't want the phone to get this start. I'm telling you from now.
Yes.
The thing is, he did it for a purpose. He did it for the same reason Christianity is there now. The same reason the political party is divided now is to rule. He did it so he could rule the empire easier.
That is true.
Before I go, I want to say I appreciate the conversation because I don't want to cut off.
Thank you so much.
To say that.
All right.
Remember, Kabu, I was just speaking about the phases. The exploration phase, the colonization phase, the independent phase, the emancipation phase, Vision 2030, just moving into another phase, and they all have it planned. I would appreciate it if you could explore a little bit, Kabu, on the role of Freemasonry and the lodges in Jamaica. Because we have them in our houses.
I'll write that down.
We have them in our houses. We have them in our schools. They are our brothers. They are our friends. And they are the one who is carrying out some of these United Nations, UNESCO, all of the international organizations that rule the world. Some of these lodges, grand lodges, they are the ones who are carrying out and performing these roles, and they are the ones who is meaning bringing the
I hear you loud and clear, and I'm writing it down. I'm putting it on my list because I did ask you to say what do you want me to discuss going through the year and to research. So I'll write that down. Thank you so much, my brother.
You're welcome.
All right. Wants me to look at Freemasonry and the large and the impact of that on us as a people and Jamaica. 9 minutes to 8 o'clock, and we continue to take your telephone calls. 876-618-0352. Hotel? Yes, I'm hearing you, but it's so noisy, the background.
Yeah, my phone. I can let nice and I was when no one listen to you.
Yes. Yes.
Wonderful day. I'm thankful that you are discussing these things now. Appreciate it. Mm-hmm. And as we give God the glory for another day, another year.
Thank you. Yes. And
well, from years ago, I heard this thing by Mr. Eunice that says, let work time, freeze wages.
No, I didn't hear that. Say that again.
Let work time, freeze wages, and up the police salary.
Who said that? Who said that?
Mr. Eunice.
Okay.
So I wrote him a letter, and I told him, listen, this is not the place for you. Leave here. Because I was so mad. Mm-hmm. That means from that long time, I don't even have the data when I had written to him.
Yes.
From that long time, I started talking about these people are meant as we must go back into slavery.
Yes.
And we have to stop them. But a lot of people don't understand them myself.
Mm-hmm.
There
is a movement. This thing is already in motion. We in Jamaica are already experiencing it. A lot of our people are just a step away from being enslaved. The model, the tourism model that we have in Jamaica is a plantation model. The only thing that isn't happening is that there are no chains on their feet and their hands, and they get a stipend. So it's and I mean a stipend. But they're just 2 steps away from being enslaved. The people in the tourism industry and the workers within the BPOs are in the very similar situation. Then we must also look at how the workers are treated generally by expatriates on the island.
Well, let me tell you, I have been doing my investigations for a long time, for years, because I couldn't understand certain things that was happening to me and my family. And I started doing things from about 14. I started. And I started going to different places, working different, just to investigate, and thank God for the strength that I had. But I was so alarmed when a missionary told us that the black people are the curse of the earth. And I went into my Bible in Genesis chapter 6 and found out that the black people are the gold of the earth. And the man left his woman and going to have sex with these fallen angels that God threw down here with Satan.
You see, there's a thing about when and where we enter. I don't know if you recall one year that was a theme. When and where we enter. If we enter at the point of the Bible, we're going to be confused. We have been before time and beyond time, inside and outside of time. If we enter at that point, it's going to be for us. It's almost as if we're restricting ourselves to what they want us to think about us. So it's important for us to enter before the Bible.
Well, the point is that I got the Bible. And I studied Greek. I studied all of these things. But you know what I did?
Yeah.
I studied the old people. Mm-hmm. You understand?
Yeah.
I spend most of the time learning about our old people.
Yeah.
It's my old people who let me know that bad words were never, and the power of these words that are locked up.
Yeah.
You understand? A long time I learned that Obia was something that Jesus was an Obia man on, because he put people together to unite with love and all of that. I learned all of that because of the group in my days. In my days, I was let me say, at a point where if somebody meets an accident, everybody in the community look after that person until them get better.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a love. If somebody wants something up at you, you never notice them there's they go and ask for it. And it is appalling to see our people jumping over fence and going to people's place to take what them have. Like it belongs to them. So I realize now that I was not doing everything that was right until when I met Sister Samad and a woman called gosh, I can't remember her name. But this lady opened my eyes to a lot of things. So those people, the old people, they go to England and come back, go and see them wing and learn a lot of things.
Yes, and that's the point you're making, because we can learn from each other, and there's just so much that just within the oral tradition that we can. The important thing is to listen, and just say, listen to the elders. Yeah, I agree with that.
I see another foot of the elder.
Yeah.
And Dr. Edna Teller, who worked in England and went in every nook and corner of Jamaica, came and took some of us in the UNIA and teach us a lot of things.
Talking about that, what's the situation with Mother Samad's house, the museum that she left?
It was given to the guy from United States that headed
the UNIA. Do you know what's happening? Do you know anything? I mean, have you been there?
No, I am not so much attached to that now. And the reason for it, I think these men are sleeping and can't bother with sleeping people.
Oh, they're sleeping. Well, I
understand the whole Marcus Garvey house.
Which house?
The house that Marcus Garvey lives in, and that place is being turned into apartment buildings or something like that.
Where, in Kingston?
No.
In St. Anne's Bay?
The one in St. Anne.
I know that it's not being turned into apartment buildings. Well, this is news to me. I know that the minister.
I was told by the lady within the UNIA that day. I was shocked. So I was so shocked. So crazy.
So who sold it?
Not the government took it and sell it.
No, I think the government has reclaimed it, or in the process of reclaiming it through some special laws on the book. And that they are relocating the people who were in the house. And I think Minister Grange, I think they have already relocated 2 persons. And last time I heard there was still 1 person in the house, and I think they're in the process of negotiation just the same. And the plan that Minister Grange has said it many times on this program in many different ways, that the plan for the house is for it to be a museum. So I'm going to check to see.
I'm checking because the UNIA, one of the lady in the UNIA who works with some children and bringing them up, told me last week that it was sold. And when I heard that, I said, you're crazy?
I don't think it can be sold. I don't think it can be sold because it's already.
They were putting up either apartment. I think it's an apartment building there. And another one told me that all of this garden here was taken over by the Chinese fully. That's whole garden. I have not investigated that yet.
Well, one thing I know, nobody comes in and take over anything. It's always given or sold or traded by the government. The government of Jamaica continues to betray the people of Jamaica. And this is basically what's happening. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm totally out of time, but is there any topic you want me to look at going through this year?
Look at the tongue and the bitterness of the tongue, because they have some old people who can tell the people to the generation of viper. Now then turn viper, then turn police. And
right, so we're getting your views on some of the points I raised this morning, but also to say, are there any particular topics you want us to look at going through January? We do this every first Sunday in January, and we're doing it again 2025. And if you want to talk about the big stories for you in 2024, and also to look ahead to some of the issues that you think will be impacting us as a people. So the phone lines are open at 2 minutes after 8 o'clock, taking your calls. Hold up. Hello, you there? Hello, greetings.
Good morning.
Yes, hold up, how are you doing?
Yeah, good morning.
Yes.
I was waiting a long time.
Oh, my apologies. All right, go ahead.
I say, man, because the two is a line, like I got a bank. So we have to just wait till more time come.
Maybe.
But it kind of a little bit confused me, a little weird.
Yes.
But nothing, man.
Make me talk about the confused. How am I confused?
No, not you confused, because I was taught it was someone else that I was getting to.
Okay. Oh, I see. Oh, it's you. All right. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you go ahead since you're.
All right. Now, what I would like to talk about now is that now 3 things I think are 4 up to 5.
Mm-hmm.
But the constitution reform.
Yes.
Jamaica becomes a republic and reparation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me I say now how we reach here. So if Jamaica did get independent, how would I reach here? So if Jamaica did independent.
You're saying if Jamaica ditches the monarchy, how that would make it hard for reparations to be paid? That's what you're saying?
No, we should not. I say we should not have. We should be paid reparation from Jamaica get independent at the same time.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, because we were betrayed by those who sell us out at independence. We're still not independent. And this was one of the greatest betrayal of the Jamaican people.
You see?
And these 2 people are now national heroes, but
I know. Even like Marcus Garvey, I gotta say, I do a big Marcus Garvey, but you see, Miss Kabu, January, you did burn your heart as a Jamaican. You see? Mm-hmm. Because even where the Jamaica legal note, we call the money, is concerned. Then put Marcus Garvey on one of the littlest, smallest note. That are disrespect.
Which note?
And the man, them who not do nothing for Jamaica at all. And then they find the biggest note them. Notice.
Well, the thing about it is that the way they're going and the plans that they have and the pact for the future that they have signed off on, which is supposed to happen by 2030, we're going cashless. All those monies will just sooner or later just be paper.
Vision 20. Why, Miss Kabu, see everything we are going. Cause even say we are say Bob Marley to be a national hero. Yes, me I say God Almighty people and wicked to it. Yes, Miss Kabu. Them wicked to it, man. And I tell you, a national icon. Then not do not. Then they must come like them never hear where we are say.
Yes.
You see me I say, me see when in a PGA time, PGA say gas race and the whole country lockdown. I want to go now. Me see Prime Minister take the IC to court. The IC report to court. Miss Kabu, no, Miss Kabu, man. No, go, sir.
What can go, sir?
Man, not really. I just try to tell them out and say nothing go, sir, no. Because me a dear man talk about in good style, and I mean I want to get in, I like people's style, I like my style. Listen me I say,
yes, at least you know. Right.
No, Kabu.
It's a whole lot of things, brother. It's a lot of things. Lot of smoke and mirrors, lots of distractions, lot of psychological warfare. Psy-up is a whole lot of gone.
And another thing, Miss Kabu, another thing.
Yes.
Me say every time a man I go say something, him a go. You must compare Jamaica to no other country. Deal with the issue in Jamaica. I don't think only if them drop nuclear bomb at Cuba we affect we also.
What you mean? What
that Cuba and then drop no nuclear. We don't think we're going to get affected.
No, we're going to get affected. We're all connected. It's one water.
No. When I say, physically.
Yeah, look on our things before we compare ourselves.
Yes, Miss Kabu, man.
Yeah.
That I think.
So what do you want me to discuss going into anything you want me to research, to discuss, to come back and talk about before the year is out? Any topic?
All right. What may I say? Farming and processing.
Okay. Farming and processing. Do you mean processing the food?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right. Good point, because we're on it. We're definitely on that. So thank you so much.
And you're welcome. And Happy New Year.
Yes, and to you too. And keep speaking truth.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, inside of the Africa Forum, and I do know we've got callers holding, so my apologies for the long hold. We're going to go back to the phone lines and take your telephone calls right now. I know I've got this Bunny Wheeler there in the background for a little while, but also wanted to read this from a sister. She says, yesterday, thinking of traitors within our ranks who have sabotaged us endlessly and infiltrations. Here you are. Hold the line for me, please. She says, here you are talking about that this morning. Can that be a topic sometime? Yes, it can. Also, the proliferation of those video ads on multiple huge screens all over Kingston and other high traffic areas. How they come alive when traffic lights change. Cause for concern in light of subliminal programming. I've said this before. Block your eyes from them. And she says this is urgent and some capable person should investigate. I am not sure what's coming on those lights. On those ads, the billboards, my sister, so if you could give me some more information. But let me go to just the way you're concerned and just how you wrote that, I know that this is pretty serious. Let me go to the phone lines, Hotep.
Good morning, Miss
Yes,
Kabu.
Greetings.
Good morning, Miss Kabu.
Yes, greetings. How you doing?
Happy New Year, Miss Kabu.
Happy New Year to you too, thank you.
Yeah, me a call from Portland, me have an issue.
Yes.
The bad road, ma'am, the bad road. From Boston to Walpen, very bad.
Wow.
Each time they put down the mall, rain come and wash it out. And when the time dry, them stop work on the road. When you are driving at the vehicle, you are jerk up. You are look up all your head in at the vehicle. The road is very bad.
I know, all across Jamaica. What about the Spark program, which I know the Prime Minister keeps saying this is not about just fixing roads, it's a long-term plan. But what have you heard in terms of when those roads will be addressed, when that problem will be addressed, when am I going to fix it, and anything at all? Have you heard anything?
No, I don't hear anything. But the only issue I have, when I'm driving into the vehicle, I jerk up.
I understand, and you can just imagine people are sick or try to reach hospital, people with bone problem, people with all different kinds of problem where, you're jerking up like that. It's crazy. But
I'm trying to reach hospital and dead.
Well, me never say it.
Especially if a man all do all a surgery now. And I have to drive on that road. He have internal bleeding, then he need to hurry up and work on the road.
It is structural violence. It is how governments are violent. One of the things that Jamaican people are experiencing but do not recognize it as violence against the people of Jamaica are bad roads in Jamaica. It is violence against the people of Jamaica, perpetrated against the people of Jamaica by the government of Jamaica.
And the cameraman must come out and block the road. So them vehicle must come and shop on this bad road.
You know?
You see, them, each time, tea time dry now, they stop work on the road. They start working on Miss Kabu.
What about the working at the rain?
Yeah, when the rain come, you know, you see them come and put down the command, and when they wash out, then come back. Now the time dry, them now work on the road.
Okay,
The man, they need to come out, come block the road, man.
so let me ask you something. Who is a member of parliament for that area?
Mrs. Vaz.
Action Ann?
Yes.
What area is it?
Me live in Long Bay.
Long Bay.
Yes, so from Boston to Walpen, it's very bad.
All right.
Jerk up.
Okay, so Action Ann, I'm sure if you don't hear, somebody's going to tell you. And I'm sure you already know. But this is urgent. At least let the people know what the plans are. All right, my brother?
Yes.
All the best. And let me know how it goes.
And I wish you health, wealth, and prosperity for the new year here.
Yes, you too, my brother.
I wish you come work on the road, man.
Of course.
Come work on the road.
Of course.
If a man sit at the hospital, then reach hospital in dead.
Yes. This is no time to be laughing and joking about anything. I'm sure the member of parliament, if she don't hear herself, somebody will tell her before the day is out.
Yeah.
And let's see what happens.
All right. Yeah.
UK has sent me a note, and she says, how you doing, Dee? Donnie. She says, read the Notes to a Nation. It says, read the story of the honest man. Is a king the creator? What is a treasure? Is it our resources? Who are those who could not dance? Are they those amongst us who occupy any office, who with unclean hands have siphoned off that which was held dear and valued by our ancestors, treasures now obscured from view, resources which provided for our families we can no longer use or quietly enjoy? Are there honest people who can dance with abandon, who did not yield to the temptation of lining their own pockets, but recognize that for Jamaica to play her part in the advancing the welfare of the whole humanity? Who is the honest human? He must be the person who looks back at you in the mirror. And it continues, is it too late for us to practice frugal leadership? Can we map up the waste and excess? Can we redirect resources towards building our communities? Is it too much to ask those who have received obscene increases in salaries and who have enjoyed certain perks, make these resources available for sustainable organic agricultural programs so that we will be able to sustain ourselves during this time of climate change? Redirect funds from projects that serve the interest of the few. I think I'm missing a bit, Tony, that serve the interest of the few. All right. I'm seeing from Labor Day every month, public participation community decides what they would like done and do it. Government spending, but reduced with citizens' input. What do the soldiers do? What do the university students do? What do the retired do? Can we get everyone contributing to efforts to develop agriculture, literacy, health, and well-being? Well said. Thank you so much. Well said. Your telephone call. Well, 10 minutes to go before parties. And we must demand answers. Those questions are tied to what plans are in place as a result of the Pact for the Future, the Global Digital Compact, and the Declaration of Future Generations. Agenda 2030. The government must be honest, come clean with the people of Jamaica. There is a lot that we are not being told We see them rolling out things like NIDS and the digital currency and, digital ID. All of that is connected to Agenda 2030, and all of that is connected to the Pact for the Future. They have not said this to the people. They are pretending as if, it's their idea, it's their vision, and you have to do it and so on, in a similar way that they did with the whole COVID vaccine thing. But this is too far-reaching for us to allow it to just be rolled out. The questions, and journalism cannot afford to fail the people of Jamaica at this time. We must ask questions. We must get answers. The World Health Organization, for example, is part of this whole thing. They were trying to sign off on a pandemic treaty. That pandemic treaty failed. There are many who feel that the Pact for the Future somehow swallowed the pandemic treaty, and a lot of what signed off there really resembles the pandemic treaty. The World Economic Forum, all those plans that they have for transhumanism and posthumanism and all of it. The government of Jamaica must come clean with the people of Jamaica regarding the plans leading into vision into 2030 and beyond. But in the meantime, remember, we are on our own. And this is why I'm saying, please go and read. Go to the United Nations website or just Google the Pact for the Future, the Global Digital Compact, and the Declaration of Future Generations. Read for yourself and read to those who are unable to. And then let's discuss it. Let's talk about it. Ask questions. Because on the surface of it, it looks good. The devil and the demon is in the details. These people are megalomaniacs. They have a plan to rule the world, to control the world. As a matter of fact, if you read the Pact for the Future, it's all about control. It's all about control. And then we must decide, because we are on our own, how do we survive? How do we thrive? We must ask these questions, answer them, and then do whatever our spirit says to do, then do that. South, and you're so right about that. Oops. All right, lost it for a minute. Let me get this back. All right, and look at those stadium displays as to the south. Why is Samsung so much better than Huawei? It's only 60 years or so from the split. There are people still alive. It is the biggest social experiment in history. Cut a country in half, give one go extreme communism and the other to extreme capitalism, stir and simmer for half a century. It is such a sad story. Yet caught in that are families, like elderly women in Tehran telling their granddaughters absurd tales of bikinis and beaches. So in Korea, be it a prison camp in the north or a gated community in a suburb of the south, separated families tell stories. The Vision 2030 lives are a tad hyper over there. Andrew, that you're totally logged in to Technocracy News, right? And also to 1984. War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength, from 1984. Read again with me now. If you've read it before, that's fine, but let's read it again. And this is a quote from 1984 by George Orwell. War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. this is where we are in Jamaica today, you know. This is where we are in the world, because if you look at what's happening in Israel, for example, in Gaza, and the Palestinians, that massive genocide is couched in the language of peace in the West, and it is taken to be so by many. And we're going to have to talk about the Jebusites if we want to understand the region, that entire region. Then we have to begin to have a discussion about the Jebusites. But the thing about the Jebusites is we can't use the Bible to decide who the Jebusites were, because the Bible starts at where it starts. And once again, when and where we enter, the Jebusites were driven out of that land, which was called, let me go to the cash pot draw and come back and talk a little bit about the Jebusites. But I'm taking your telephone calls at 8:30. A new year, 2025, to you for listening all these years, for being a part of the family, for being a part of the experience over time and space. And if you're just joining, this is your first or second or third, welcome. Akwaba. Thank you so much for choosing IRIA FM. We know that it's a choice, and making this appointment radio, however you're listening to us, and I know sometimes you do listen afterwards, but thank you so much. And there is a team I spoke about last week that's always online when I am, and they're in many spaces, right? They're usually on, all the posts that I make, but particularly on the IRIA FM's WhatsApp page. And you are constantly interacting, engaging, just participating at many different levels. And so I want to say thanks to the team: Jawari Garvey, James Jones, Donna Mattis, Andrew Lumsden, Kirikou Sila Selassie, Patricia Lindsay, Denise Isis Miller, Kevin Nairiri, Stephen Riviere, Aldous Honkar, Barbara Lyons, George Daly, LMDS Ras Andy Anderson, Andrew Hall, Upton McPherson, Omaliwa Tia, Fire George, Wanda Waney, Tasha Rodney, and I'm talking about some serious interactions, with others and with me, sharing Dean Virgo, to my sister, Professor Vereen Shepherd, Sister P, Yvonne Brown, our brother Ajamu, my brother Kedat Azikwe, Arlene, my sister Akeem, Iowa, Erica, our brother Akomutota, Devon at Drax Hall Auto, my sister Judith Bodley, Kimathi and Kuma, Dr. Devon Taylor, Busy Campbell, my brother, Noel Pottinger, my sister Joan, and her husband Earl. Thank you so much. Fine, Stephanie Marley, that just generally to the Rastafari community, the Pan-African community, the sisters who have been mothers and are continue to be mothers, the sisters who stand as sisters, the aunties, the little sisters, the younger sisters, and just the wide team, the brothers who stand in the gap, in the space, and let me know that you're standing in the gap. The Rastafari brothers who stand in the gap, and you let me know you're standing in the gap. Good morning, Pafai. Good morning to the team. Good morning, Marlene. Just generally, I know that we haven't called all the names, and we'll continue to say hello and thank you. All right, so, look here, give me your surname again, because I'm not going to call your first name. Give me your surname again. Janky. So, Miss Janky just come hand me a paper and said, we've got callers holding. Wally for callers, too. So that's why I had to say miss, you know. All right, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to go to the phone lines. My apologies. It's the first Sunday in the month of January, and as we are wont to do, we open the phone lines on the first Sunday. We lay the groundwork by saying what we're looking at, what we're focused on going through. I haven't gone through all of it yet because I'm going to itemize too. And then to ask you what's on your mind and what do you see as some of the big stories for the year before? What would you like us to research and to talk about? Or just what's on your mind. Greetings.
Yes, greetings.
Hold up, my apologies. I kept you holding.
Yes. Yes, Kabu. On what you were talking about, I remember you saying we should not enter the thinking from the Bible. Is that what you said? Should enter elsewhere?
I'm saying, when do you enter? When it's putting a time on it, and where do you enter? And right, so that if we enter, say, from the time, because any time that you put on this is going to limit you, right? It's going to limit you. It's going to limit you from spirit to just to flesh, to human. So if you want to limit yourself, if you want to enter at slavery, then if you do that at enslavement, then you are shortchanging yourself. If you want to enter at the King James version of the scrolls that were written by us anyway, then you're also limiting yourself, because so it is to go beyond King James to go.
So where is this beginning?
Well, you tell me, where's the beginning for you? Tell me, where's the beginning for you?
For I, personally, it's the Bible, really.
So you don't begin before the Bible?
No, because I don't know nothing. In the beginning, I mean, please tell us, because we don't know. Well, I don't know.
Well, I've spent the last 35 years on this program saying that. So I mean, it's something that I've been saying for years. That, you know, we are spiritual beings having a human... hang on. Spiritual beings having a human experience in African...
Right.
In African... Yeah. African outfits. So it's an African-centeredness, African-centered mind, and so on. But spiritually, we transcend all of that. Yeah.
Well, it's amazing. You have so you are not afraid to go there.
I've never been afraid to go there. Not only used to say me I call long duppy when Mr. Spirit on this program.
Okay, well, let us
in
begin.
1990.
Well, you say spirit, fine. So what? There are billions of spirits. Are you aware of that?
What is on your mind, my brother?
What is on? Well, you you said that King James was a pervert, and you're correct. I think I never know him. So
I said he was a murderer. I said he murdered his mother along with Elizabeth I. This is documented history. I never make it up. They write it in them history. Mary, Queen of Scots, was imprisoned in the Tower of London because they didn't want her to inherit the throne. Elizabeth couldn't stand it. She's our cousin, and King James is our son. And somehow the history tells you this, that somehow.
I am glad to be informed.
Yeah.
I am. Yeah. Yes. So because of that, you say you're saying the Bible message is from him.
I didn't say anything like that, my brother. You're taking me out of context. I was saying I can't believe that in the churches on a Sunday morning that his name is mentioned every single Sunday without any context of who this murderer was.
But we as a society, we mention a lot of names who are despicable people every day.
My brother, what is on your mind? What are you saying? Just say it. Just say it.
Well, and you also mentioned that you believe there was another person born from virgin birth.
I don't believe but I don't believe anything. The history tells you that before. Hang on, it's not my history, no. It's Fuhuno history. It tells you that before Constantine adopted Christianity. And he was struggling to do that. And he didn't adopt Christianity, by the way. What he did was to merge two ways of worship. One was what the Christians called paganism, which is how the Romans worshipped. And the Roman god was Mithras. Mithras had all the qualities that Constantine, at the councils of Nicaea or Nicaea, gave to what the Christians were doing. So the original Christians didn't celebrate December 25 as the birth of Jesus because they didn't think it was December 25. But Constantine brought that into law and made it so. So we have to understand Constantine and the role he played in merging what the Christians call paganism and Christianity. This is the point I was making. That's
okay. Just based on what is written, Mary got pregnant in the middle of the year, according to Luke, to the Bible. Luke, verse 26. Mary got pregnant the 6th month of the year.
Who is Luke?
Luke is the one who wrote the book of Luke in the Bible.
Tell me about Luke historically. Which part in born, where he come from? Who is he?
I don't know, right now. I don't know.
Then how you come and talk about a man where you don't know nothing about?
Oh, I see. So, I'm going to know about the book named Luke.
All right.
The Bible? Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is, according to the Bible, Mary got pregnant in the 6th month. So based on that, she couldn't give birth in the winter.
Right. So you're saying that, but I'm telling you that historically, I don't even have to go to Luke. I'm telling you that Constantine is a man that lived. Constantine was defeated in Rome, but in Constantinople. But he's a man that lived and walked upon the earth as an emperor. And he is known and touted by the Christian church as a person who adopted Christianity, the first Roman to adopt Christianity. In adopting Christianity, for Constantine, it was politics. He just wanted to win. And there were a lot of we're talking about a time of foment, a time of war. And the Romans were literally killing the Christians, and so that war was an ongoing war. And on the other side of them were the Muslims, and even before they were Muslims, the Turks. So there was a whole lot happening, and Constantine thought he had to centralize and to be the one ruler. So what he saw Mithras that the Romans were worshipping. Mithras was a reincarnation of Osiris. So the Egyptians worshipped Osiris. The Romans said Osiris was reincarnated and reborn as Mithras. Now, Constantine came along. He saw that. He wanted to get the Christians on, but he couldn't get them on board unless he said he adopted Christianity. So he said he had a vision on a bridge where Jesus came to him and told him all kind of stuff. And so he had to adopt Christianity. Constantine was lying, and he fooled the Christians. And to pacify the Christians and the Romans, what he did was to merge the two rituals, the two ways of worship, make them one. And his plan was also to make himself the reincarnation of both Mithras and Jesus. Constantine was a megalomaniac.
Yes. Yes. You know, the day is going to come soon when everyone has to tell himself the truth.
What is it? What's the truth?
The one same truth.
What's the truth?
It's no. That's the same question Pilate did ask Jesus.
No. You said the day is going to come when everyone will have to tell themselves the truth.
Yes.
The one truth. That's what you said, So what do you mean?
Okay. I heard you mention the mark of the beast. That will force everyone.
When did I mention the mark of the beast?
Yes, you did it in passing. You didn't.
Oh, not this morning. Okay, not this morning.
Yes, this morning, yes.
Okay.
And you were saying, because you were speaking about the surveillance, the ability to surveil and the cashlessness. These things were just mentioned in passing. You didn't spend time on it.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't.
I was saying that regardless of what you call it, whatever you identify it as, it is happening. Yes.
Yes. So you see, that thing, the mark of the beast, is going to force everyone to admit certain things to themselves.
Like what? Certain things like what?
Yes, because we can see the surveillance and the technology happening.
My brother, there's something that you have done. You're in a paradigm that is interesting. There's something that you're doing. You have come on here, but you are thinking something that I don't know what it is. So whenever I answer you move the goalpost to another place because I have to fit whatever you came on here with in terms of what you're thinking. You are going to ensure that I fit into that mold. But I can't allow you to do that because that is called gaslighting.
Gaslighting?
Yeah. What you have to do is, now that I've answered you about the historical Constantine and what Constantine did historically, and I get the impression that you're saying it is not true. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, no.
All right.
I don't dismiss history. I'm a student.
All right. So when you say the day is going to come when we have to face, when everybody's going to have to face the truth, this is what I was asking. What do you mean by that?
Yes. The mark of the beast will come, and if you don't take it, you can't buy or sell.
Oh, that's the truth you're talking about.
Yes. So everybody will be forced to choose the mark or refuse the mark. Don't you see that?
Well, that happened during COVID. You forget?
Yes, because we were forced to take the vaccine.
And if you never take it, you couldn't do plenty of things. I was on the back foot. I couldn't travel. I did a lot of stuff I couldn't do because I didn't take the vaccine. Yes,
and there's another virus coming in China.
Well, there's also one in America and one in Uganda, and they have predicted that there's another one coming.
So we'll be forced to choose, won't we?
Well, just like in COVID, but we are on our own. We make the choices that we make. Are we willing? Are we willing to make that choice, or will we buckle under pressure when we can't feed our children?
We'll have no choice. We'll have to choose agreement or disagree. You have to agree with the narrative or disagree.
And that's a very good point, because this is exactly where we are. And this is why I'm saying to people, I don't know if you've heard me all morning, to go back and read the book 1984 by George Orwell, because this is exactly the situation that we're finding ourselves in. We're getting to a place where now they're talking about misinformation and disinformation, and so that their truth is going to be the only truth. And so we're going to have to make a decision as to whether or not we're going to stand up in our truth or buckle under the pressure. This is basically what I've been saying for the last few years.
Yes. Well, I don't want to stay too long. Please, one last thing. Please, when you're uttering the phone numbers, please speak a bit slowly with the numbers.
I will.
I can't believe you are actually... I can't believe we have actually come closer in agreement.
Well, this is what I'm telling you, that you have to have a paradigm shift. You think something about me that I don't. If I know what it is that you were thinking, I probably could help you, but I don't have a clue what it is you're thinking. So
Well, I told you.
it is no, you haven't. You haven't.
Well, yes, I told you my beginning is the Bible.
Well, but if your beginning can be the Bible, no wrong with that. I'm just saying that we have to choose when and where we enter. And if you want to enter the Bible, somebody else can enter the scrolls that were translated into the Bible. So what about the person who entered the scrolls?
Well, it's different narratives.
Exactly.
So, right. So you enter the narrative you like, and you go with that.
Or you enter a spirit, and you don't need none of that. But thank you so much.
No, but the narrative, wait a minute, the narrative is spirit.
Nothing no go, sir, but thank you so much.
No.
We're out of time. Call me.
Think about it for a moment, madam.
So what narrative is spirit?
The narrative that you agree with.
What narrative?
Wait a minute. The Bible narrative is a narrative. Is it not?
You're saying that you're saying I'm asking you. You said the narrative is spirit, my brother, and I'm asking you now because you're telling me that I'm wrong. So I'm asking you what narrative, and you're saying it's the Bible narrative. I can't stop you. If you said the Bible narrative is spirit, who am I to disagree with you?
Well, just like Agenda 2030, written by some people, is what they want. It is their thoughts, their ideas. It's what they agree with.
And Google one movie when named gaslit lighting and watch it for me and come back and call me. Cause you're good at it. Thank you so much.
I don't like say you send me gaslight.
Yes, man, a gaslight, man. What you look here. Yes, look here.
All right.
All right. You're inside of the African Forum. This is Running Africa. There's a hole in the bucket there, Liza. 3 minutes. Oh, no, 3 minutes after 9 o'clock. And I know there are many other callers holding. So we'll take the calls. 876, he says, speak slowly. 876-974-5079. 876-618-0352. All right. So we're taking your calls. Let me go back to the lines. Hotep?
Morning, I'm me again.
Yes.
I'm me again.
Welcome back.
What you love to talk about?
Right. You didn't get a chance to do that. Yeah.
I personally would tell you, talk about the things that His Majesty said to the League of Nations and the United Nations. And one speech I make about 1963. Listen to the exact whole speech I make to the League of Nations and the warning.
Yes, I've carried it. I don't know if you know, but I've carried it from time to time over the years, the full speech.
Very good.
The audio with translation.
Yeah. Otherwise from that, if you know people are plan evil for you, they are not going to tell you the truth. If them tell you the truth, you will rebel.
That's true.
By knowing them are plan evil for us, then the only thing we should do, make sure we have one farm to feed ourselves, make sure we put ourselves together to build our own school thing, and we can say, I need you and teach you them.
True.
Make sure we are teach you them, right? And make sure we study technology too. Because we are in a technology time,
exactly.
And we can fight back.
Exactly. Biotechnology and all of it, yeah.
And we have to set up your army to that. We could need a big gun them too.
Don't talk everything. All right. Okay, so you're inside of the Africa Forum. This is Running African. All right, so the Creative Caribbean project implemented by UNESCO, CARICOM, and the University of the West Indies. I know lots of people tired running around because of the big show last night. But here we are, 8 minutes after 9 o'clock, and we're going to go through until 10 o'clock when the Big A comes in. And Big A himself is coming from the big show last night, so you know, you know how that goes. All right, let me go to the phone lines. Greetings.
Greetings, Sister Kabu.
Yeah, you never did a big show last night.
No, I'm never did a big show.
You sound fresh, you know.
Yeah, man. I had a big show. I was in East Central, St. James.
Okay. Yeah, man, how you doing?
Yeah, man. All is well, man.
All is well, yeah.
You had asked something what you'd like us to keep update on.
Yes.
But I wanted to wish everybody Happy Christmas and Happy New Year going into the 2025 and wish them all the best.
Yes.
So our present focus today is based on the Maroon. Based I know you had just read something from the Maroon. I had two questions to ask you from the Maroon.
Mm-hmm.
Jamaica, the Maroon is here long before Jamaica gained independence. However, many people are now saying that there is no such thing as Maroon and there is no such thing as... Hello?
Yeah, there's no such thing as Maroon.
Maroon and how does this get to affect the work of the CRC committee?
What CRC committee?
Constitution Reform Committee.
Okay. Well, you tell me. Tell me what you think.
If it is that the Maroon hasn't been drafted into the new piece of Reform Committee, and then we are saying that we have Nanny as the hero for the Maroon, and we teach Nanny right across the Caribbean in terms of Maroon culture. I am just wondering how this, if it is that we're going to get about Nanny the Maroon who has been exist long before Jamaica had gained independence.
All right, so you're saying that there's something with the Caribbean, with the Constitutional Reform Committee. You're saying they have not included the Maroon communities
into the new piece of drafting.
And what would you like to see them do? What would you like to see them include in that?
If it is that they are been around long before Jamaica gained independence, there is something called Maroon, and there's a culture exists based on the Maroon culture. So, and when we look at the Maroon, you had just read something back in the treaty from, I think, 1738 you had read. And if they had a treaty signed from 1378, so does it still exist or it doesn't exist anymore?
That's a very good question. And I know we have had this discussion. I've had this discussion with scholars from both sides of the fence. And one thing we do know is that the communities in Jamaica that identify as Maroon communities, for them, the treaty exists. For many of us, the treaty is an affront. So we have always said that there has to be, because we have to, there's a need to unite. And there's issues that, need to be trashed out, but privately. I've come to the conclusion that really these discussions don't make no sense on air publicly. There needs to be a coming together of the communities to look again at what we have in front of us and to say there are clauses in this treaty that represent a betrayal of the people of Jamaica. Do we throw out the entire treaty, or do we make that statement and enter that statement into record? There's no agreement on it, because the Maroon communities generally haven't really agreed on it, so that it remains a point of contention.
So, with this point of contention now, our Nanny is the Maroon. Right across the curriculum, they teach the history about Nanny from grade 2 or grade 1, Nanny from the Maroon. So, based on teaching the history, is it that the history would be soon fade out?
But I don't think anybody is arguing that the free communities didn't exist, and they existed before slavery. A lot of us have been here and identify as being here before Columbus and before slavery, so that we don't even buy into their history of how we got here. Once again, when and where we enter is important. If you enter from the space of the slave ship, then maybe you can spend a lot of time talking about issues like a treaty and so on. But for me, I mean, we enter from, according to the Van Sertima research, from long before Columbus. We here. We all make heads. We before they all make heads. So I'm not the best person to have this discussion with. That's the point I'm making.
All right, then. So let's shift gear and go over to something that probably has been expounding from weeks and from months.
Yes.
So we are going to look at the responsible minister under the Town and Countries Planning Act, the local government act, the Beach Control Act, and the National Conservation Resource Authority. Because I realize there is some dispute between the... So we wanted to look at the Food Storage and Infestation Amendment Bill. I think it passed in 2019-2020. That Food Storage and Infestation Amendment Bill is there to provide the food basket. And looking to the right of the river now, that's the food basket. And if it is that an bill has spill over into the food basket, then it's a difficult... the matter brought before the court. And then when the matter brought before the court,
I'm losing you. When the matter brought before the court?
Yeah, when the matter before the court,
You're breaking up. You're breaking up.
You get it here now?
That's better. Yeah, you're saying when a matter was brought before the court?
Yeah, a matter was brought before the court, and in that same moment, the judge asked to get an update on it, and then we hear that there is some agreement come without even the judge knowing the circumstance of the agreement and stuff like that. So if they did want it at that level, they should have go to a mediation room and not bring it in front of court of law.
And who are they? When you say they, who's that?
I think it was the Royal Cobra and the National Conservation Authority. Those two had come to the agreement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if it is that something like that happened in the court, it should have been in a mediation room where two parties get together and settle the dispute.
So what's the decision on it then? What happened?
The matter is still pending. There is no outcome. There is no solution as yet. Other stuff, because I know that lawyers from the other side was involved and they have a general definite answer into the matter what entered into.
Mm-hmm.
I think was Mr. Goff from the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Royal Cobra, some areas to do with Royal Cobra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So those are the inaccuracy where people wanted to get information based on when matters goes to court, and we are here that they add into a deal which it's secret like. That's a difficult.
I'm not sure I'm understanding you. That's the only thing. But so the matter of the Rear Cobra, which I discussed recently, you're saying you don't think it should have gone through the courts. What they should have done was to work that out through mediation and make restitution as necessary. This is basically what you're saying.
But when you bring a matter to court, the judge should have heard the outcome of it.
Yeah.
And when you're saying that the deal, she can't even get her eye into the outcome of it. That's
what you're saying. Yeah. There's something that NEPA did. You're talking about that whole thing that NEPA signed off on.
Yeah, man.
Right. One thing I'll do is definitely follow that particular one up for going into the next few weeks. We had a long discussion on it a few weeks ago, and I'll continue to follow that up. And
there's another one I wanted to follow from it too.
Mm-hmm.
The Access to Information Tribunal. I think Mr. Earl had suggested that they want the board to reinstate because the board hasn't fully reinstated, and it has been months since the board has dissolved. And wanted to keep an eye on that coming too.
Oh, most definitely. Yes. That's very important.
Wanted to shift.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wanted to shift and go over to the child diversion bill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we know that in 2013 it was the Children's Advocate, and we see a child diversion bill coming January 2020. And that child diversion bill that's coming, it's there to reduce the numbers of children who was charged with an offense and put before the formal criminal justice system. So we know that where the offense where we speak of, and we speak of the scheduled offense. Those scheduled offense hasn't been protected under the Child Diversion Act. So let me break it down for you, because I want you to get one of your strong lawyers to explain the scheduled offense for me. So let me carry it to the people of the country what me speak in general terms.
Yeah.
So looking at a child which is 13, 14, 15, or even 16, or let not put 16 on it, because they say 16 is a form of consent. So looking at a child at 13, 14, 15, if it is an adult have sex with a child at that age, they say that the child brain does not develop, so that the adult would face the full extent of the law. But looking at it from another perspective, looking at a child 13, 14, 15, commit an offense or even caught with a legal possession of firearm, that child brain is developed under that part of the book.
That's what you mean.
So the child diversion program is there to protect the numbers of children who get caught before the formal criminal justice system. But the scheduled offense now has not been protected those child. So I wanted one of your strong lawyers to give me a breakdown on the scheduled offense.
I've made a note of it already. The Child Diversion Act of 2018, the Jamaica Houses of Parliament, I'm looking at it. So I've made a note of that. I must say, honestly, that I wasn't even aware of this conversation. So I will, I'll call in, as you say, one of our strong lawyers. To have a conversation about that. Yeah.
So let's shift gear again. We wanted to go to CARICOM. The CARICOM, we started a single market in 1989. And we see most of the trade is coming from the U.S. So the main focus I ask, is CARICOM necessary? Because I think CARICOM is here to assist the CARICOM region brothers and sisters. And in relation to ICE coming from U.S., as they look to the CARICOM counterparts to see what's best can done from the CARICOM counterparts before go to U.S.?
Well, they could look at MAPE ICE before them go CARICOM, don't it?
Okay.
You know MAPE ICE?
I don't know MAPE ICE. I am from East Central.
Well, somebody need to tell you if MAPE ICE locked down. And maybe MAPE ICE can tell you if them locked down or if anybody did call them to get ICE from them, extra ICE, that to make up the shortfall. But CARICOM, that's a good question. I'll discuss CARICOM in the coming year. I did last year also. CARICOM has to answer the very same question that you asked my brother, because CARICOM is entering into a lot of bilateral deals with the United States and the European Union. And even when Africa gets involved with the Africa Free Trade Agreement that is in place, and we see Barbados moving out to be part of the Afrin Bank, and we see even Trinidad it seems like as if they're not paying much attention. Barbados is the only country that seems to be paying attention. You have to wonder about what's really happening. What's important, though, what's interesting is I think this time around, the head of the chair of CARICOM right now, I think I'm right, might be the Barbadian Prime Minister. If that is so, let us see if she's Mayor Motley. Let's see if she's able to bring this together, because I don't think singularly the Caribbean countries are too concerned about CARICOM. I don't think so. I don't get that impression.
So. And CARICOM and our Trinidad in general now, because we know that there's a state of emergency, and Mr. Rowley has now announced that he's going to resign.
Oh yes, I do have to go to a break. So this is going to be the last thing. I'm totally over time. Right? Yes. So Trinidad is under a state of emergency.
A state of emergency, and Mr. Rowley is now saying that he's going to resign based on the numbers in homicide, because the numbers is about 640.
Right.
1.34 person, and it's 640 numbers now. So he's losing the war against the criminal over there.
Yes.
Based on the numbers, because there was a protest about.
I'm hardly hearing you. There
was a protest. No, half weeks in Trinidad, only must go, and they continue to keep that pressure until he finally resign and say, well, that's the way of it. I see the opposition in Trinidad.
Yeah.
A former commissioner wanted to he said some circumstances because the opposition was he is not expertise in law enforcement. The retired commissioner, Mr. Gary Griffiths, wanted, but he said not in general terms he won't speak with him. He offered to speak and tackle the murder rate, but he said not in circumstances. But over there, man.
Yeah, so Trinidad really has been having this problem. We've had many conversations about the crime situation in Trinidad. So we've looked at Trinidad and Jamaica within the context of and against what's happening in Haiti. And it boggles the mind. I have been speaking with people in politics in Trinidad. I've been speaking with activists, I've been speaking with Pan-Africanists, and I've been speaking with people in academia. We actually canceled a program that we should have had with Trinidad 2 weeks ago because, it just was the time of year. So we're going to be revisiting it very, very shortly. Trinidad is also opening its spaces to militarization by the United States. That to me is a bigger problem when you look at it because everything is connected. So we're going to bring those to the fore and have that conversation.
I speak on matters over in Trinidad and the ground report, and I also speak on the corridor transformation at night too. So I have an understanding what is taking place elsewhere, and I also speak on St. Kitts and Nevis with Mr. Mark Brentley.
All right. So I need your number. So you are on the ground report?
No, I am East Central from St. James.
No, because you said on the ground report. Or you do on the ground report.
Yeah.
Oh, we spend so much time on TikTok. That's why we think you're on the ground report. Anyway. Lord help us. So, all right. So I need your number. Can you hold the line for me, please? Hold the line for me. All right?
Okay.
All right. Poland, where my brother is saying the road from Boston to Long Bay is part of the highway project being done by China. Don't think it is part of this park. All right. So the brother who called, you could check into that because we're understanding that roadway you spoke to us about is part of the highway project that's being done by China. Is it China Harbor? And might not fall under this park situation. But in any case, do what you have to do, but check on that. So much our brother Ajamo, he says, when we talked about the treaty earlier, 1738, with the Maroons, he said, sister, it was not a treaty. The British embraced it as a pact of pacification. A pact of pacification. Or 876-618-0352. By the way, if you call 876-618-0352, it will take you to all the other lines. So that's the best number to call.
Hello.
Hi.
Greetings. I phoned in to be on the phone line.
You are live on air. You're speaking with Kabu. Go ahead.
Oh, hi. I'm Reverend Prophet Mama Oboshi. I reside in Ghana. I do ministry work there, and I'm on vacation in Jamaica. I came initially for 2 weeks, April the 1st. We're due to return on the 14th, and I'm still here.
How come?
Circumstances, my destiny.
Oh, okay. All right. So what's on your mind? Well, you're in Jamaica. You're obviously okay. Like? What's on your mind?
Yes. Yeah. Right. I wrote one down. Just bear with me a moment.
Yes. All right. So we're getting a feedback there.
Right, because I've been taking notes. Where is the culture gone? That's my question.
What do you think? What's your answer?
It's lost its way. It's been so diluted, we don't even recognize it anymore.
All right, do you want to elaborate on that?
We're looking, but we're all looking, but we don't know what we're looking for.
And what do you think we should be looking for?
Ourselves.
And
we need to discover ourselves. We need to find ourselves.
How do we
know
thyself and thou shalt know the Neteru. But
it's also excuse me, sorry, interrupting you, but it's also written on the pyramid walls in Egypt, know thyself.
And thou shalt know the Neteru.
Yes.
Yes. I don't want you to leave that part off because it's important. It's pretty important. Listen, you've called it an interesting time because I have to do a simulcast, right? I have to do at this minute a short link as a kind of a simulcast, and so I'm going to ask you if please try and call back if you can. I'm sorry that we're catching you late, but it's because I do have to join another broadcast.
No, that's fine. That's excellent. I'm giving you my permission to take my number, and because I'm on my way to catch the Knutsford bus. I'm on a spiritual pilgrimage.
Okay.
Around the island of Jamaica.
All right. Can you hang up? Can you hang? Safe travels. All the best. Can you hang up and give your number? Just dial back because I'm alone. And give your number to the operator.
I will do so.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Bye.
All right, we're sorry about that, but normally we wouldn't say that we're doing this simulcast. We just go right ahead and do it because this happens from time to time. Basically what it is that just for a few minutes I look into a camera and I'm saying something about something, and I'm about to do that now, which you would not normally know, but I'm doing this while I'm live on air. And it's such a pity because I haven't queued up my music. But just to say, all right, so I'm Kabu-Ma'At Kheru. You're listening to the Africa Forum. It is Running Africa, and we're coming to you live from the studios of IRE FM, headquartered in Ocho-Rios, of course. And it's a great pleasure to stand in the space and to pay tribute to the ancestors, to those upon those whose shoulders we stand, to acknowledge our ancestors who resisted and took freedom, and specifically the Haitians, Haiti, to say to Haiti on your 221st anniversary of freedom, of independence, that as we continue to celebrate, and we'll be doing this over time, to celebrate this freedom, that we understand that war that we fought and won, we're still fighting that war. And there's just so much to gain on the other side, but we will not forget that this war has been won, regardless of all the obstacles, regardless of all the challenges, regardless of the what we see now as the betrayal by CARICOM and others on the continent of Africa of Haiti again, that we recognize and celebrate the ancestors, Boukman Duji, who came from here in Jamaica, all of them, Cecile Fatiman, all the women, all the men, all the children who fought this battle for independence and for freedom. We are not concerned, as we should, with the phantom of liberty. We know that slavery of the mind is far more destructive than slavery of the body. But if we are to win this war against white supremacy, against continued oppression, then we must take our freedom back from our enemies. So to Haiti and to the people of Haiti, on your 221st anniversary of freedom, one Africa, one nation. All right, so that was a simulcast, and it's done while I'm on air with many stations across the Caribbean. So basically that's what that was. Said before, it happens from time to time, and usually we don't say, we just do it. Right, so much to get through, and we're going to try and do that again. We're going to go back to the phone lines and see if we can take at least one more or two more calls. And to the sister who we just had to cut in, my apologies. Do we have a call holding? I'll take that. In the meantime, just to reiterate quickly that the Pact for the Future, the Global Digital Compact, and the Declaration of Future Generations is what we're going to be focused on going through the next few months. Agenda 2030 and all that comes with that, the acceleration of Agenda 2030. Let me go to the phone lines.
Hello.
Hotep?
Hello.
Hotep. Yes, Hotep. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah, welcome.
Oh, I'm calling on program like the last 5.
Mm?
This is where I am now. You hearing me?
I'm hearing you, but I'm just hearing you now. What did you say before?
Oh, okay. I'm calling from Western Jamaica. The thing is, I listen to your program, and what I think for us, black people, for instance, you have youngsters that are electricians, welders, and such alike, right?
Yeah.
Those skills are relevant.
Yes.
And I've seen some of them making progress, regardless of what the system is trying to do, they are making progress.
Yes.
So what I think, going forward, we should train those. And another thing is, for those that left the countryside, they study medicine or law or whatever, there are a lot of them that have parents that have a little land in the countryside, right? That has been left. They need to assist those that are there to produce so that food security later on will be on track.
Right, I do agree with you, and I think this is where we should be looking at skills, whether it is, as you said before, the skills that are still relevant, or and you know, we're paying very close attention to farming. We'll be focusing on that a lot going through the year. I think it's critical for us to begin to, well, not begin, but to continue those discussions, but now with urgency more than ever. And we recognize that we are on our own. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to be a Casablanca, and the thing is, there's a spring head at one end of it, right?
Oh, wow.
My children are out. My son is an electrician, right?
Yes.
But I'm saying to them, the other races, they are trying to create generational wealth. I am going to do what I can, and then you will take it from here, you know?
Yes, and when you talk about a spring head now, so that is, I mean, tell me about that. You have a lot of water there, or?
Yes, water. It's 24/7.
Oh.
You see, even now we're going into the dry.
Yes.
24/7.
What parish is that?
It's in between Westmoreland and St. James.
That is very good news. I really love the sound of that. Yes.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take a picture. I'm gonna get the WhatsApp, and I'm gonna take a picture of the water coming from under the rock, and I'm gonna send it to you.
Oh, go see how me go come down there. Yes, man.
I'm gonna do that and send it to you. You know?
Yes, please. Yeah. Wow. All right. Thank you so much for calling.
Yes, Kabu. I spent years in Kingston because I was at Jamaica School of Art way back then, right?
Yes.
And I came back to the country many years now, and I do not like to work with the Ministry of Health, but I've never get the urge to be an urban dweller.
I understand.
Yes.
So you're back in the country. That we go. Hi, morning.
Yeah, great.
Yes.
This is Jadave.
Jadave, how are you doing, my brother?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
What I want to say to my people, my nation, I think this is not even for you because I was listening to the program all morning on the phone and you said everything. And a few of your callers said it too.
Yeah.
Because when you mentioned King James and what the havoc he had done, I am talking about the havoc the Bible is doing and the guns. You know, I must put it in this way. The animal care for their own without a book. We have books and don't care for each other. Now, a man who live by a book that written by his enemy is a man who accepted slavery without resistance. Mm-hmm. Without even putting up a resistance. And that's the reason why so many people,
yes.
so many of our people, children, are in crime because we choose war for freedom.
Mm-hmm.
But you said all of these things, so these things are not for you. I must make it clear.
No, but I'll take it. No, man, we don't mind having these conversations. You know, as my father used to say, iron sharpeneth iron.
That's all I'm doing.
Yeah, you know, we can underscore this. Books by themselves are what they are. The King James Version. There are many versions of the Bible. The King James Version is an interesting one. It doesn't in any way, anywhere at all condemn slavery, for example. In fact, it encourages slavery.
The Bible has a lot of errors. And let I point out two main errors. Holy Ghost, a white what is Jesus, which is idol. But if a man don't have a God, who is he praying to?
The point, and I go back to what I said earlier, that to understand what happened to, because there was Christianity before Constantine. We have to go back to Constantine, right? And to study all the councils of Nicaea or Nicaea or the Nicene councils. It to me, it is crucial for any Bible scholar, for anyone who wants to understand how we come to be here with some of the information that we are holding on so tightly to, is to understand what happened at the councils.
That's why I recognize accepting slavery with accepting slavery without even putting up a resistance.
Yes.
If there was no J, we recognize that couldn't be any Jesus, and we recognize there was the story comes there in Jamaica. There is a saying: if somebody tell you something, if you not go so, you go so. We recognize, and spiritually we are spiritual and physical beings, and we recognize there was some, but it wasn't no whitewashing Jesus. There was some man that didn't even name Jesus, but some man that something happened to.
But do you know the Bible? Do you know
it's not a black man.
But it's not the Bible that made the character Jesus white. You know, it is what they did afterwards in terms of a representation.
The artist,
Cesar. Just let me finish. Just let me finish. Cesar Borgia. Cesar Borgia was the son of the Pope, one of the early popes, the Borgias, and Cesar is the one who sat for that portrait. So that portrait you see is of Cesar Borgia, and I know that if you try to Google this through the Western internet connection situation, it will tell you that there is a school of thought that suggests that the portrait is the pictures of Cesar Borgia, but that not Nogoso. Well,
really?
You know, there are many other documents that show you that this is what happened. So this is Cesar Borgia. But it wasn't the Bible itself that made that character.
Majesty said I read somewhere when I was about 17. I was in Canada when I saw it. So it's long before internet came out. And I saw where Majesty took the Queen to court. And when he took the Queen, he said, what happened to our black Christ? What happened to our black Jesus? What happened to our, I never remember if he said Jesus. I don't want to tell him a lie. But he said, what happened to our black Moses and all these people? They were. So
I'm going to say something very controversial.
And,
you know, you could use
the problem about it, not about the misled.
But you could use the very same.
Without question.
My brother, you could use the very same Bible and find your black Jesus and your black characters. You could find black people all over the Bible. As a matter of fact, Barashango, who is a scholar of blessed health.
Yeah, but you know what?
Barashango has done.
We're turning the Bible upside down.
No, hang on. No, I'm just saying that. But you're not listening. You don't listen to me at all, though. You know, Jadave.
No, sorry.
You don't. I'm just saying that this whole whitening of the peoples of the Bible, it's not done by the Bible itself. This is what people have done and what people have bought into. So that if you read the work of Barashango and others, and somebody sent me some others the other day too, but Barashango in particular has done so much work on Africans as peoples of the Bible. I think when you begin to look at that, you get a different view. And I'm not speaking for one or the other, and I'm just saying that we still have to be measured in how we discuss these issues. They're as emotional as they are already.
And what I'm just saying, what some people will do after I say all this, will turn the Bible upside down to ignore the errors and to fall into more errors, and then that's how long we are. That's the reason why we accept war for freedom.
I take the point you're making.
Recognize that.
I take the point you're making.
We accept war for freedom.
I take the point you're making.
Have a blessed New Year.
You too, my brother. You too.
Thank you.
All right, you're inside of the Africa Forum. This is Running African. Sometimes I think them ticklish on them, very nuanced. And, sometimes you feel like you want to go with the dominant thing, right? Because, but at the same time, we can be nuanced. But I really do take the point that Jadave is making, because he's saying our people have bought into so much of the schism. And a lot of what people practice as Christianity, not being in the Bible. It's doctrinal or doctrinal, and it is what the church say and what the pastors say and what, when they meet, all the doctrines and all the different rituals and so on that they come up with, that not even in the Bible. It is not there. So it is what it is. I read everything. You're not to be African, that's a question. I am African because Africa was born in me. That's one year. We've had many over the years. In 2025, we are on our own. We'll flesh it out as we go along. It means that we're going to have to take things in our own hands, and we're going to have to be the change that we want to see. 5 minutes to 10. But I'm going to check out. And me and him are going to talk one next time, It is what it is. I have to go sit down. And get a sip of Cersei and just stretch out. Sit down and stretch out. Yeah. But Bushaban on, let me just say to you and to Beres Hammond, intimate, this, I think for us, one of the best things that has happened in the entertainment industry is intimate. Keep that going, my brother. Keep that going. I know last night the traffic was... Oh, goodness me. Last time we saw traffic like that, it was, when was it again? Intimate. But they said they were going to fix it. Let me tell you something. The traffic for Intimate was backed up. Intimate in St. Anne, and the traffic back up all the way to St. Mary. And I'm not lying. You just ask anybody. The traffic backed up from St. Anne to St. Mary. There has to be another way to do this, though. And I know BK was talking about it last week, about the needing more entrances and so on. But there has to be another way. There has to be another way. So many promises were made, and the same issues arise, because if somebody was in that traffic who needed to go to the hospital, if somebody was sick, if somebody had an emergency, and the alternate routes were road bad and dark. So it was an adventure, and it was worth it. Marcia Griffiths, all the performances, and the turnout was thousands, and the place shell. But at the end of the day, we have to do something about the traffic for Intimate next time, because talk to them, because you see, the thing is, it is what it is, People are going to come. It is what it is. It's Intimate. We'll look forward to it. So the traffic is going to be what it is. I know I see some people turning back from Kingston, I see some people turning back. When I hit the highway 2000, I realized, but I'm not to reach a second toll booth yet. And the traffic back up here. So no, sir. So basically that's what that was. Anyway, so I'm going to check out and make way. Biggie, I'm checking out. So me check out while you're checking though. This is basically what's happening.
I don't do this for you. So might as well we check in.
Might as well we check in? So I can go and check out. You're tired?
Eh?
You're tired?
No.
You don't reach?
No.
I didn't think you were going to reach because at the time when you left Ochi, you're going to reach.
That is the problem?
Grab the mic. Because you see? Grab the mic there. No. You know? So what happened to me last year happened to him this year, but everybody was getting a little tear-side. I'm very proud of you.
I never even started the journey.
No, I could see why you couldn't start the journey.
Because
I see that.
the persons before me.
And you couldn't even get nobody your ticket, and that's the problem. Because nobody never going to reach. You know? So how that going on? So tell me about your experience last night.
I actually didn't have one per se. I had reason to be on that corridor earlier on in the afternoon.
Right.
And in fact, as early as in the morning after 11 o'clock.
Right.
I had reason to be on that corridor. That is between Ocherius and Runaway Bay.
Right.
And to my shock, it was bumper to bumper traffic as early as 11 o'clock.
That's right.
In the morning, going both ways. Going from Ocherius into Runaway Bay and beyond.
Yes.
And from the western end of Jamaica, I went as far as Runaway Bay. So from that end, straight back into Ocherius. It was also a bumper-to-bumper traffic. I was in the traffic from Runaway Bay to Ocherius yesterday for an hour and a half.
And usually that is a 15-minute, 10-minute drive?
Half an hour tops.
Okay, half an hour. From Runaway Bay to Ochi?
Eh?
Or it could be a half an hour?
Tops. Why not?
Oh, you drive so slow.
I said tops, you know. I said tops.
That is very slow.
No, I said tops.
Okay.
I mean, that is obeying the speed limit.
Other traffic is there.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So it is normally give yourself 30 minutes from Runaway Bay to Ocherius, right? On a given day, right? And yesterday it took me in excess of an hour and a half, an hour and 40
that's a lot of
minutes
time. Yeah.
to traverse that corridor, and that was the easy part. That was the easy part. Getting from Ocherius into Runaway Bay was the more difficult part, especially as the evening progressed. And might I add, the time that I'm speaking about, which was morning into early afternoon, really had nothing to do with the concert yesterday.
And so so that traffic was just a party traffic, or people getting to hotels, or people just coming in
It was just
for
the weekend.
Just the weekend
traffic.
But it's not the normal weekend traffic, though. Not quite.
I can't speak to that.
Maybe holiday weekend. Well, it's not even holiday. It's not even holiday.
Right. But I know of situations like morning traffic and evening traffic on that corridor is also extremely busy.
Yeah.
So it begs the question, is the road structure adequate to support the traffic on this corridor on a normal basis?
It is not.
And then what happens if you are trying to develop this region as a region for entertainment?
Yeah,
where you expect occasional bumper to bumper or occasional upheavals in traffic.
Something has happened, right? The construction, businesses, residential areas, all of that, because we've been in this area for a long time,
right?
And we have seen the development in terms of the many housing developments that have gone up.
There's a boom on that,
and businesses also.
Yeah,
there is a serious boom, and it's really fast. And but the road network remains the same.
And that is the difficulty that we have. And then now when you add the bumper to bumper situation, or rather the droves of persons coming in from other parts of the island, mainly from the eastern part of the country, meaning Kingston, filtering down to the roundabout, people from Ocherius.
Oh, that roundabout is not adequate at all. That roundabout is not adequate.
It begs the question.
Yeah.
But I know I hear people levying the blame, so to speak, at the police, and people levying their blame at the network, like we are alluding to.
I think it's a road network.
And whereas that is issues that must be addressed, I think the major issue and the first question that must be asked is, what are the owners or the developers of that property? What is it that they want for the property? That is the first question. If they want it to be a first world entertainment center, then there are things that must be addressed, because the crux of the matter, the crux of the matter lies therein.
True.
Right there at the property. True. Not with the road network and not with the police.
You're saying it's how fast people get into the property, the access to the property. That is what look here. Remember, it can't just be access. No. It back up from Dessa to St. Mary,
No, but hold on, no. But if you're taking off one person at a time, one single person can go through the gate. What do you expect to happen?
True. When you have thousands.
When you have thousands of people, if you're taking, it must happen. It's only one single person can go through that gate.
Right.
Yeah. And in addition to that, what is furthering the congestion is the fact that you have to actually cross the road. Meaning you are now you're coming down on the left and the property is on the right.
True.
So it means you have to slow down to wait on the police to now give you permission.
Or else call Paul's Record Service.
Right. To call the so you have a couple of solutions. Mm-hmm. One is to build an overhead from the left to the right, so the persons who are coming down on the left don't have to wait to cross. They simply filter left and go on the overhead and then go over into the venue.
Like where? Give me an example of where we have something like that.
So you're going down. This is the road. Mm-hmm. You're going towards Bobby.
Nobody knows what we're doing. I mean, you ask each other. But anyway, go on to that. All right. So, all right. No, but you want to me. You show me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Drax all over here, so.
Right.
Mm-hmm. We are on the left over here.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I am saying that you filter here, go up, go overhead, and go down. You make an overhead.
Like a fly pass?
Yes.
Okay.
Right? So you don't have to know be interfering with the traffic that is coming up from Montego Bay. Right? Because that slows down the traffic too. Right? So now you filter left, go fly over and access it.
Anyway, and left feet microphone to show me all of that, and I will karate movement and kung fu. But me get it.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu too. I know all of that.
Jiu-jitsu, I tell you, man. Martial arts.
Right. So that is a partial solution.
Yes.
Right. But the access to the venue must be of such that the police can take 10, maybe 15 cars off the road in any given moment.
You were saying last time, many entrances.
Multiple. Yeah, that's what it is. So when you can take, say 10 cars off the road at any one time, and you have 10 entrances to get into the venue, the traffic must flow.
I tell you, say stay away. No, stay away.
It must flow.
And listen, we can
address that. Until you address that, you are going to have the problem.
I'm going to tell you why it's so dangerous, and you pointed it out last time, was that the hospital, the one Dega hospital in the region, is on the same route.
And the airport, by extension.
Right. Well, and you can leave from Boscobel. So I'm going up with some.
Yeah, but
7 planes a day.
Since when?
I hear them. Did I fly by your house?
No, they're probably flying over yours.
When them pass, me can't see everybody in there.
No, well, that development will over time, I guess.
Over time.
But right now, it is Ocho Rios' airport.
Right, yeah. It is really, but some good performances. Did you at least manage to see any of the live stream or any?
No, I have not. I have to use the rest of my Sunday to catch up and see what happens.
Okay, cool.
But, I was there the last time and I know what to expect. I hardly think there's going to be anything that is going to be so new.
And, it's really a good show. It's a good production. We want it, in St. Anne. We needed to move from the venue.
We need more in St. Anne.
We need more in St. Anne.
For that matter.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's really, when you actually get into the venue, I mean, it's a beautiful venue. It's a seat up on the other side,
Of course.
That means not vehicle can't come. What I'm going to do is carry everybody to the sea and you park somewhere and they're coming from boat.
That is also a possibility. That is also an experience.
All VVIPs could come in on the boat.
That is an experience that they could work on.
On yachts. On yachts.
On the yachts.
Yeah, I think I will do the yacht.
Right.
Yeah. No. I will come from beach.
And use the yacht.
Yacht-wise. I'll do the yacht experience, yeah.
No, man, but that certainly is something that is not far-fetched at all.
No. And it's big enough for helicopters and so on to land. So
listen, earlier, a few years ago, when there was another lessee of the Plantation Cove, we had a meeting with him concerning some events. And he declared to me and the other partners at the time that Plantation Cove can not only hold over 100,000 people, but it can also park them.
I can see that. I get that.
Yeah, it is.
It's not far-fetched.
It is not far-fetched.
No.
It is not far-fetched.
I can see that.
So so by virtue of that fact, it is pound for pound the singularly most important entertainment venue in this country.
The mistake that was probably made was when you're acquiring that land over Dessau, you should acquire on the other side of the road, if not directly, but somewhere on the other side for parking also. That means people could go there and then just, go across.
Yeah, but how land go. Sometimes you have the availability.
All of it was Crown land. A cane did plant there.
Yeah, but as I'm saying, maybe when they acquired it, they never even know.
No, I think about it. Yeah, that's true because it was because it was such a long time before.
Right. So you don't know what you're going to do with it per se. So you just never have any forward thinking in that direction.
And there's another show coming up there. Isn't that where Rebel Salute is going to be?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, we love the venue. And, we don't want to lose the venue. So, Bush, you know what, I move something, No, because we talk like this. We love the venue, you keep it something
it's not Bush for move the venue. It is the owners of that property need to be serious.
No, but I don't want Bush for move it.
No. But and if they get serious about developing that property to be an entertainment venue, there's no venue like that in this country at this present time that can offer what Plantation Cove can offer. For one, it is in the middle of the country, so it is easy access for everybody.
True.
It is right there.
Right.
It is by far the singularly the biggest venue for entertainment purposes, which means that we simply can't afford it yet. We don't
reach nowhere for full it. So
nowhere near. Fulling it yet.
And so, Intimate can't full it. So, Intimate can't cross it. Nobody can cross it. Intimate can't cross it.
Can't cross it.
So,
no, and so don't let the contained area that has been cordoned off for Intimate fully, that is the limit of
I know.
That is just a fraction. No, I'm not. No, that's not for you, but for the person who are listening.
Yes.
That is less than a tenth.
Because remember, Rebel Salute uses differently now because they have that area, and then over the years, remember Herb Curb plus camping,
and the beach. And
I'm telling you, so
and they still have not used any
all of it. So, oh yes, I know. She's telling us that we have to take the break and we have to go. So anyway, let me just say, but anyway, Intimate sell off. I give you 99.9% Bougebon on, and the team, and it's only because nobody's perfect.
There you go.
Okay,
so the issues that we have is not with the production.
No.
Not with the internet.
No.
It is. It is with the developers.
Yes.
And the other persons with vested interest.
Exactly. Exactly.
Including the government.
Yeah. And the one like a time when me you go book up at a show for the longest while.
Them spoil it.
You know, I mean the telephone where Gideon boot. You know, were you ready?
I was ready.
Look at that, man.
I was suited and booted. I came to work.
Yes.
With the intention of just leaving here.
Right.
And headed into into drugs. But there were persons here at 7 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Courtney Mack.
Mm-hmm. Him reach it?
He reached 9:30. He left here at 7 o'clock.
Mm.
And he got there at 9:30 via Clermont.
Right, and I know some people go Golden Grove. I know people go Golden Grove.
Via Clermont and
so
Golden
I go
Grove.
Clermont. I
Right?
mean, I understand that. Because still don't have to come back down through.
No, man, I'm fine. You know, Courtney know all of the
Monkey, I'm going to tell you.
Right? Come down through Lewis and...
goodness.
And I don't know if it's Lilyfield
or... it must have been dark. Bamboo. Yeah, come down through Bamboo.
Right. So
he took the hinterlands for it.
He took the hinterlands. So
no.
Right.
Right.
So
anyway.
You know,
anyway, the whole thing is an adventure.
I think Clover not reach it.
Clover not reach it?
No.
I hope she at least reach back home. I hope she at least reach back home because, you know, and so it goes. Anyway, so it's an entire experience, and I think if you check it out, is that, you know, the experience is good. The only thing is that you're talking about emergencies and all of that. So while we love the experience with a man bumper to bumper, you know, we can do all kind of stuff, but there's a bigger picture, and that is the hospital and other emergencies, fire, you name it. That's caught in that traffic, there's no way to go. Anyway, once again, congratulations. Boujabon on the team on another successful intimate. See you next year. Big A, walk good.